Okay, so this I think is part 3. We have talked about why we disagree, which is because we have not great interpretive mechanisms relative to things we're trying to interpret. And yes, we have very similar mechanisms. The brain's complicated. There's so many different ways they can be activated. And language is complicated. We don't have a great grasp of language, and so very easy to. And then all it takes is a couple different conditions to trigger different interpretations, and then you've got wildly different interpretations, wildly different answers, and then but then without critical recognition, you don't know that you're a human brain, and that those answers and the mechanisms that produce them aren't very good. But you know what you are good at is thinking you're defending a position well. So you'll just say a bunch of stuff that sings, even though it's not actually reasonable or maybe even true. And then you so then you just get further and further along into your thing, and they into theirs. Both of you just defending it, believing in it, and so anyway, that's why we disagree, because we've got bad interpretive mechanisms that sometimes produce different things, and then since we believe in them, we commit to them and don't change our minds and so on. So that's why we disagree. And the goal here is to figure out so there's 3 Alerises: Monaleris, Dialeris, Wealeris. Okay. Monaleris. Okay, so today that's what we're trying to. What is that? What is this? We know it's something about an individual's effort to evaluate a kess. Okay, and we're gonna define kess and cup and all of that stuff on the board. Dialeris. This is interpersonal. And this is about dissemination or something. That's not quite the best word there, but okay. So we're looking at how, as an individual, someone makes a claim. What do you do with it? How do you know whether to take it seriously? How do you take it seriously? Of course, Dialeris is okay. All right. Well, let's define this. Esek, point of contention. Okay, that's an esek. Okay, a kess is a claim where it's one of the contending claims. Okay. Or it's one of the contentions. Here's what I contend, that X is true. So here's my kess regarding the esek. Okay. So it's a statement. Okay. Maybe it would be better to say, uh, maybe it would be better to say the question and answer. Okay. 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 So, okay, some other basic vocabulary that's going to be important. Let's see. Sing. Uh, Sounds good. And shope sounds bad. Okay. So you hear a kess and you're like, no, 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 that's wrong. Okay, that kess shopes. Okay. Let's not go as far as to say it's wrong or we don't agree with it or we don't like it, whatever. We just know, let's just stop immediately once we know, okay, we're having a negative reaction to that. Could be because we've perceived an error. Could be because it could be for a lot of reasons. A lot of things can bother us, and the system isn't very good at doesn't have the nuance of like, oh, but this bothers us because they yelled it at us, or because we don't like the person who said it, or whatever. That nuance, we don't experience it. Not humans in this age anyway. Maybe one day. Um, okay. Cup. It's an adjective. Based on good, maybe information. That's the important piece. The evidence, empiricism. Okay. Pill. This can also be a verb, but I'm putting it as an adjective. Pill. Relevant. Relevant. And how do you say that? Like it advances us. It's not only relevant to the conversation, but it adds to the conversation or responds to something that needed a response in the conversation. Um, um, let's say relevant and constructive or productive. Is that okay? Should we do constructive? You liked constructive better? I just don't want just I don't want us to get confused with the connotation of like it's like nice or something. Like it can be very pill to say that fact that you just said is wrong. That's very pill. Um, but um, but something can be pill, but it's repetitive, and so it's no longer constructive because you just keep saying that that fact is wrong. Well, the second time, then it isn't pill anymore. If you say that fact is wrong and you give nothing, you don't cup anything, you give anything to show that you're cupping something real when you say that it's wrong. And let's say the next person says, well, I think you think it's wrong because of this. And then you say, it's wrong. I mean, it's no longer constructive. So yes, okay, so that's fine. Okay, good. So relevant and constructive is pill. So relevant to what is sort of on the table at a given moment, and constructive the um, for the esek in general, but also more importantly, the point in the conversation we're at now. And we're probably gonna have a word to describe the different points in we're probably gonna have words to describe the different points in the conversation. And then just in case you're really new here, there's 4 CRs right there. Just the only one I'm going to say is recognition, recognition of cognitive nature and limits. Whoops, recognition of cognitive nature, and that means limits and function. Okay. All right. Well, I'm not gonna. All right. All right. What other vocabulary are we gonna need before we open up this computer and really get into it? Um, Thinking about things like no-op, I see, stuff like that, but no, we don't need that. Oh, audit and audit. Okay. And the audit, it's a mental mechanism, or a department really of the mind. And those are the lawyers. They're not interested in truth or the evidence, except for how it serves their conclusion. We have to do par and soup. All right, audit. Those are the auditors inside. And the auto auditors. So this department, this is a great department. I mean, this is useful as well, but it's just abused. This is a great department. You're going in and checking your own thoughts. We'll figure out what that means. In fact, audit, there should be a moment in Monaleris where you pause for a little audit. So audit is justifying, is going further and further into your idea. You should watch out for confirmation bias and a whole bunch of other stuff. And then audit is good. Okay. And then you got this. Sing sounds good. Shope sounds bad. The par is how would you define that? Piece, part of, or step toward. And then the soup is the whole or the destination. Okay. And what's a faux pas? A social faux pas, like a misstep, right? Because pas means step. So if that helps, And then soup, you can just think of it as the superior thing. This is yeah. Now, soup is maybe a little bit tricky because no, that's okay. I think it's okay to have this word mean both of these things and this word mean both of these things. Um, but maybe what we will avoid, I think we will. Okay, because see, here's the thing: we had persuasion, which is where you give a part rather than giving the destination. Here's what I believe to be true. You give a thing that your system considers to be a par to the thing that you believe to be true. You give that piece, and you just let that piece do the work in their minds. Because if that piece sings for you as a reason that your kess is true, then since we're all kind of the same, it's likely enough to sing for them. And I like that persuasion, but all right. This is called it theory, of course. Everything that we work on, it's all about it theory, about the its of the mind and the sits of the system. If then, okay. If then, okay. Condition, consequent. All right, we've talked about that a lot. Okay, these are the symbols, Hebrew symbols for bet and tav. Okay, so bet suasion doesn't sound as good, so we can leave persuasion, but bet suasion would be more accurate. Par only means this in persuasion, maybe, because I don't know that it's useful to say this is the par and this is the soup, because soup should always include the par. No, if the par is a step toward the soup, still, is it if then though? Okay, so we're going to use bet and tav. Okay, so bet is the condition, tav is the consequent, bet is the premise, tav is the conclusion. Bet is the evidence, tav is the kess. Okay, so we'll talk about the bet and the tav. Yeah, so forget par and soup, bet and tav. What was the other thing I said I wanted to do? We have the agit. Talked about cup and pill. Got the esek, the kess. We're doing a Monaleris. I'm trying to figure out what that would look like. All right, whatever. I'm trying to think of a persuasion that uses the word bet. Something. All right. Anyway. All right. Yeah. So persuasion is just when someone gives you the bet. Hey, it's cloudy today. Their kess is it's going to rain. And so you say, hey, we should have a picnic outside. And they say, it's cloudy today. They don't say if it's cloudy, then it's going to rain. And if it's going to rain, then we're going to get wet if we do a picnic. And so if we don't want to get wet, then we shouldn't do a picnic. They just give you the bet of it's cloudy. And in this case, it's pretty efficient because then you go, oh, it's cloudy. And that bet does the same thing in your mind that it did in theirs. That bet triggers a tav of it will rain, which becomes the bet for something else, which triggers the tav of we're going to get wet, which becomes the bet of something else, which triggers the tav of hey, let's not do this. Okay, that's very good. So the bet and the tav, because we always, we talk about the condition and the consequent, the input, the output. let's talk about the bet and the tav. Okay. So, okay. So the bet and the tav, good. Oh, gosh, if you're really new here, well, I'm not going to explain it theory, but just remember a mallet is a bad it. Okay? So, it's yeah. So if you give if you have a tav, a kess, and you give someone the bet that you think that you imp led to that tav, to that kess, then and then you give someone else that bet, and they have a different output, a different tav. Okay, someone, at least someone had a mallet. At least someone had mistreated the bet. Had a bad it that went bet, then tav prime, and you're like, but no, bet then tav, bro. This is wrong, bro. That's a bad it, bro. But when they heard the bet, the same bet, because we all have shitty its, they did that. And this might be wrong too, bro. Maybe it's actually truth. A true it would be like this, maybe. Whatever that one is. Okay. Or maybe I shouldn't be doing like prime. I should be doing like that or something. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, we evolved. All right, quick explanation bit theory. We evolved with a bunch of these. With certain bets, our bet leads to a tav. This bet leads to that tav. This bet leads to that tav. This bet leads to that tav. And a lot of the times, there's a mistake in pairings. But I mean, it worked well enough to evolve with it. But... Okay, I think we're pretty much ready. Oh, I should have left that. Started recording. No, whatever.